association with box. So Sonny Edwards, Lyndon Arthur just gets the decision, unanimous decision. Just the initial reaction to his win. I know you was in the corner as well.
Yeah, I thought he did need to. He done what he needed to do. The opponent was obviously a last-minute change. The first half of the fight was very negative. Our opponent, I thought. Obviously, we know Lyndon's game. He likes to use his reach, likes to use his jab and his range. But for the most first half of the fight, I don't think his opponent really threw anything. There's a couple of rounds where he let some shots go. But rounds 8, 9, and 10, I think Lyndon really took over. Showed that he really is the level above. I think he did go a bit flat in a few of those rounds where I think he was edging out the round just with the jab, but he didn't have to do too much more. Neither was the opponent given him the opportunity to do too much more. So he could have went out and chased it. But I think he's got big plans, big visions. A bit disappointed probably about the cut that he got in, I think, the 9th or 10th round. But yeah, a good win, another win, and we keep moving.
I was watching online Twitter trends, and Tony Bellew was saying, I think after about 5 rounds, that he felt that Lyndon lacks confidence. For a guy his size, he should be more imposing. What do you think of them comments?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got their opinion. I mean, he had a last-minute change of opponent. He was meant to be fighting a heavy punching, come forward, 12 rounds, world title fight in Suarez. He got changed to someone a bit smaller, a bit faster, a bit lighter, in good shape himself, wasn't small himself. And he came with a lot of ambition at last minute, and it was a bit awkward at times with the kids sitting off him. But then, yeah, you can say that in round 5, but are you saying that in round 9 and 10 when Lyndon pretty much did everything but take his head off in both rounds? How the kid got through both of those rounds, I don't know. But yeah, I said the same to him. He needs to get that a bit earlier and in between a bit more control. But apart from that, he's showing very, very good fundamentals. He didn't start boxing when he was 9 years old or 10 years old. He started when he was 16, 17, 18. You know what I mean? Lost his virginity before he put a pair of gloves on, the mad cunt. So what are you expecting from him? So yeah, you can always, you can pick and make it harsher and do whatever you want. I don't really care, to be honest. He come in, he's got the win, he's going forward again, and hopefully big things to come in the future.
Talking of the big things, he got the decision. Were you happy with the scorecards? Some were quite wide. I think 99, 91 got a bit of criticism online. 96, 93, a lot of people ringside agreed with that.
I don't think you can give the other kid more than 2 rounds. I think only 2 rounds he threw more than 3 shots. Can you argue with that?
I don't know, I'm just asking the questions. I was just looking at what people are saying on Twitter and what the feeling ringside was.
No, but obviously when someone's not expected and does a bit better, it sways, you know, but genuinely, the first 5 rounds, I don't think you could give a round single to Boris. He threw about 5 punches in the first 5 rounds collectively. And then he had rounds, I think, 6 and 7 where he came out a bit, but then it got shut down. And then rounds 9, apart from the last 10 seconds, didn't really do anything and got hurt. And rounds, the 10th round, he got hurt bad and was lucky to survive, I thought.
Definitely, he did. To be fair to him, he did well. I think he said he got the phone call at 1 p.m. yesterday. So for a super middleweight, I think he hung in there, probably got his name out there a bit as well. But credit to Lyndon with all that distraction and not fighting for the IBO belt anymore. He got the job done.
Yeah, and what you got to remember is when you're expecting one thing, and then maybe the level kind of goes down, the weight goes down, it's a last-minute opponent, 12-round, 10 fight, a world title fight, no title fight. How do you expect someone to keep that same level of intensity? Like, the best of best of best, the most talented fighters often can't do that when they're in that one against side. It's a little bit easier. And then when the opponent, like I've said numerous times before, is now looking up and really trying to make the best out of it, they've got nothing to lose. So the little percent shift of looking down a little bit on someone compared to looking up on someone creates a more interesting fight. I don't know what that banging is though. What's going on?
Conor Walker fans might not be happy with the decision earlier.
He's right behind us, actually, isn't he? Yeah. I did think he was unlucky, to be fair. I didn't score it all, watch it all, but it looked like he was on top side from what I did see. But like I said, you can't really make that assumption just because I looked round 3 or 4 times and it looked like that. So yeah, hard luck to Conor. Well done to Gardner, I guess. I think it's been quite a good little show today.
And just next for Lyndon Arthur, I suggested Shaq and Peters to you off camera, but you reckon that's not the fight next?
Oh, it's not that I don't think that's the fight next. I think...
it's a good British fight, though, because them two haven't really fought each other.
Okay, but who Shaq Peters beat? Your favourite?
It was a British champion.
Who did he beat?
You
Who
could.
did he beat? I'm asking who did he beat? You're offering, out of all the names, After Lyndon's beat Yard, lost to Yard, now come back and winning. What I'm saying is, there's Dan Aziz, there's Craig Richards, there's probably 7 other names right now that would make more sense for Lyndon than Shakan Pitter, sorry.
I'll tell you why I said that name, because he's a free agent, and the rest are with other TV stations.
Yeah, but Lyndon's basically a free agent. Because with Sauerlands, they work with everyone. Lyndon can cross over. I nearly crossed over against Callum Smith, wasn't offered good enough money, so he didn't. Back here fighting, like, you know, probably didn't earn that much of a percentage less to not fight Callum Smith, to fight, you know, what was his name? Boris, sorry. Boris.
Yeah, we won't forget a name like Boris. And just moving on, Sonny, you've seen the disappointment. Fury Usyk ain't happening anymore. You've been involved in like weird negotiations and clauses, etc. Do you think we'll ever get to see that fight get made?
Yeah, well, until you see a fight poster with a date and a venue, and both opponents, then a fight's not made. And even then, sometimes fights aren't even signed. People jumping the gun. I don't think the fight was ever going to happen on the 29th of April. I don't think. So for me, I think it's as much going on as it was last week, even though there's been all of these videos, greedy belly, gap tooth midget. Even though there's been all of that, I still think if the fight is going to happen, it's still aiming for the same spot. Maybe I'm being devil's advocate. I generally don't have no inside scoop on this one, so I'm not even cutting from that angle. But I just feel like it was never happening. I don't think anyone really in boxing thought it was going to happen on the 29th of April. But I do think it's going to happen. I think, come on, there's too much money there. The belts, both fighters will probably, you know, give themselves a fairly good chance of winning and becoming the first ever man that did it all at heavyweight, isn't it? There's not been another undisputed, is it, at heavyweight?
It's not for a long time, but the last rumour I've seen recently is Joe Joyce, if he wins, could be Fury Joyce in the summer.
I mean, how likely do you think that is?
I've just seen Benson tweet it, so if Benson tweeted it, there might be some truth to it.
Did you see him get caught on camera the other day? Did you see him? And he tried to look down at the phone like that. Did you see it? I've seen that. But yeah, well, he probably has quite a good scoop being a chief editor or whatever he is at TalkSport. So, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know.
And just quickly on yourself, Sonny, you look a lot trimmer than the last time I've seen you. When can we expect some news? Give us some timelines.
It's because I can't afford to eat nothing at the moment. I'm waiting for a fight day. It's easy to make weight when the fridge is empty, you know what I mean? Now, there's some very exciting conversations. I couldn't even give off no tip-offs or clues right now. But there's just a lot going on, you know. There's a lot going on right now, and I'm hoping to have some concrete news for myself over the weekend and some concrete news for everyone else over the coming week.
Interesting stuff. Sonny Edwards, as always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time.
No, always.